Ooh, let's get ready to. No, I'm just kidding.
Ooh, let's get ready to rumble!
I thought you were gonna do the Keemstar intro for a second.
And let's get right into the news.
I guess I haven't seen Keemstar. I don't.
Oh wow.
I guess not.
Just be glad. Just be thankful.
I don't think he's that bad, but he's annoying, but
Yeah, that's about. He's just like an excessively annoying internet personality.
I think
he's pretty much the Fox News of YouTube.
Oh God, that's
Yeah, true.
I don't even know who we're talking about, and I'm already offended.
Yeah, it's true.
Let's get right into the news.
Yeah, dude, you hit it. You hit the nail on the fucking head.
I do great impressions of some people. Like, it's crazy because he makes that stupid little face too. He's like, "Let's get right into the news." Like, fuck out of here.
Okay.
Like, your face is ugly.
I know later I'm going to be doing the edits for this video to find a clip of just that to put in right after you do it so that we can have like the side-by-side comparison. And
literally all you have to do is look up Keemstar and that's his intro every time.
Oh, by the way, we're your two regular jackoffs from upstate New York. My name is Patrick.
And I'm Kyle.
And with us joining today, we have Ethan G Unit. I don't know. We're just going to go with that, I guess. What's good? Tell everybody
Grayson
at home.
my last name.
What?
Grayson is my last name, if that helps.
I do apologize. I am a massive
you're good.
shit. So thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the podcast. Tell the people at home who you are, what you do, and how often you masturbate a day.
Okay, that's a good point. So my name's Ethan. I am the vocalist for a band called Sawdemise. It's Sawdemise. Haha, funny anal joke. And I play bass for a band called Backbiter. And how many times I masturbated a day? I'd say, like, just because I'm busy lately, just once. I'd say just one lately.
One and done.
Yeah.
All right, I see it. And as soon as you said sodomize, all I heard was Peter Griffin. Sodomize.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, my band is a complete. We write like serious lyrical content, but our name and our appearance is like a joke, that kind of thing. We're slamming deathcore, I guess, is the correct genre.
I mean,
slamming sodomize.
I respect it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Slamming sodomize.
Yeah,
after I've already, warmed her up and everything, then we're slamming.
Mm-hmm.
But at first, gotta take it easy.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, you gotta ease into it.
Yeah, I want to be able to still be hitting.
You gotta ease in
now.
X.
In fact, I was telling Jen who I was interviewing today, and I told her the name of your band, and when I said it out loud, that was when I realized the joke. Like, that was when it clicked.
That happens all the time.
Oh my God, it makes perfect
most
sense.
of our fans, because we're like a smaller band, but we have a decent fan base. Most of our fans, like, they'll come to us after like a couple months of listening to us, and they'll be like, "I just realized that your band name is an anal joke," and we're like, "Really?" Like,
and we really appreciate that.
Yeah.
We respect you for it.
Fucking facts, dude. Facts. So tell me a little bit about the band, how you guys got started. What is your origin story?
Okay, so I'm actually I wasn't a founding member of the band. So this band actually got formed probably 3-ish years ago. By a couple of people, and the vocalist originally was a guy named Alex DeRose from a band you guys might know as Bog Wraith.
I do fucks with that band very heavy.
Bog Wraith. This was his band originally, and he wasn't able to put the time in that was needed and everything. And then Bog Wraith is coming around, so he was having to split his time. So he ended up leaving eventually before the band really did anything with him on it. Because originally, this band was a local Michigan band. And after that, who used to be the second vocalist of this band, his name used to be Mason Sigmund, but he's non-binary. His current name is Alex.
Gotcha.
Was right on the band, and he came on as the vocalist and started changing around some of the positions and everything. So after probably about a year of that, they put out a song called Reaper of Divinity back in the day. It's like a very deathcore type song. And then Alex and I met back in the day through playing games, actually. We used to play a lot of Fortnite together. Yeah, it's really bad.
I mean, it is what it is, man.
But this was in the heyday of Fortnite when the game was like cringe but not terrible. And he
like nobody could build and like build a whole mansion in 5 seconds.
It wasn't like you look away and then you look back and then there's just the fortress in front of you and you're like, well, fuck me, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't feel like getting raped by kids right now. Come on now. I'm just here to chill.
So he at the time was going through some like lineup changes, and I, in addition to being a vocalist, I play guitar and bass, and he brought me on as a guitarist at first. And I'm okay at guitar and everything. I could play what we were doing and stuff, but it wasn't myself and the other guitarists. We just had creative differences as far as what we wanted to write, what we wanted to do. I was a very straightforward, like, if we're going to be a slamming deathcore band, let's just play caveman slams type shit. And she was a very technical player. She was incredibly good. She still is. She's very good. Her new band is called Nigh Ungodly.
Oh, actually, I'm familiar with that band.
Yeah, that's her current band, and as you can tell, she's incredible at the guitar. But it was a different style, so she ended up leaving because of she had stuff in her life going on and that kind of thing. And we ended up getting 2 new guitarists. One of them, funnily enough, was one of the founding members or original members of Shrine of Malice, who ended up leaving later on. His name is Trey Perdue, and then another one was his buddy Zach Carr, who was he used to be in a metalcore band called Witness, if you've ever heard of that band.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, they were like really big in like the beginning of the chugcore days, along with like Traders and that kind of stuff. They did a lot of that. So we brought both of those guys on, and then I switched over to vocals as well. So myself and Alex were doing dual vocal duty, and we took probably like 9 months or so because we really wanted to make sure that what we were doing was what we wanted. And then we Alex and I are really good friends with Dickie Allen from Infant Annihilator.
You can imagine. I was waiting for this to come up because I knew Kyle was just his heart was gonna sink.
Yeah, so we actually met Dickie through playing games too a few years ago, and we all became really, really close. And we had put out like a shitty song that was okay, and it like I sang on it, and the best part of the song was like the clean singing. And it's like, we're a deathcore band. This is not what we want to do. So we were like, we're gonna reinvent ourselves. We're gonna like go and reworked everything, and we put out a song called "In Retractu" with Dickie on it. And that song really did a lot for our band. It got a lot of eyes on us comparatively to where we were before. And as far as where we got now, we have new stuff coming out soon. But recently, Alex ended up having to leave the band because they have a lot of life stuff going on, and they weren't able to record, and they weren't able to put in what everybody else was putting in. And it was an amicable thing. There's no hard feelings, of course. But they went, and they're focusing on their life and their family and that kind of thing. So as of now, I'm the only vocalist, and we have a new single coming out hopefully in the next couple months once we get everything done. And here we are today. I mean, it's a convoluted story for a band. We've gone through like 3,000 different lineup changes, but it's all built into the deep lore, you know?
No. I mean, from what I've heard of Alex's project, I have a good sense for why there was the need for her to leave, because as I listened to that project, it's a little bit more techie. And so I get why, it wouldn't quite fit. And I get the impression that this is a better suit, like all around, both aesthetically and like, sound wise for the band, because her project is very, very, anime inspired. Is that right to say?
Yeah. No, it's I think it's like Souls inspired. I think they do like Dark Souls type stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
honestly,
if I remember
I'm
right,
intrigued.
like yeah, it's very interesting stuff. Like and I can't recommend them enough. Another one of my homies, his name is Sean Mills. He is a monster vocalist. He's the vocalist of that band. He has some of the craziest highs I've ever heard in my life. That band in and of itself is just really, really well put together. But that guitarist's name was actually Vanna. Alex was the other vocalist who left. But Vanna she's just an incredible all-around guitar player. She has that mind that's wired for like weird time signatures and different, all of these odd chordal progressions and stuff, that it's like there's a niche for that, but it's hard to make that work within the context of like just a regular deathcore band. You have to go into this weird field of tech death and everything. So it was 100% like we still love her to death. Like all of us, we're all still friends and everything, and we're glad for her because her project has been doing really, really well lately.
Mhm.
She absolutely killed it, and she puts an insane amount of work into her music. Like she puts more work into her music than I've seen most professional musicians do. She will spend 12 hours a day on a single song for 3 weeks if that's what it takes. It's
Playing each
absolutely
note
ridiculous.
to make sure that they are, perfect.
Yeah, it's that level of exceptionalism, and it's like that level, because you know how a lot of people in that type of music, they'll be like, oh well, you just programmed every single note so it sounds right, and there are a lot of people that do that.
I mean, who
But
cares?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
I don't
one, who
understand why
cares?
there's hate about that.
I agree. I think that if you can come up with the musical context in your mind to create the song, why should it matter if you can play it perfectly or not enough for a recording? The personality or how he acts. Lucas Mann is a really good example. The dude is an exceptional guitar player and an exceptional musician, no matter which way you look at it. The dude is absolutely insane. He is, I know it's a meme and everything, but he is one of the best guitarists that we have around currently.
Right.
From the context, like, and I don't even like Rings of Saturn's music that much. It's usually just not
It's a
my
hit or
thing.
miss for me.
Yeah, like they have some songs that go super hard for me and some songs that don't. But I think it's a little bit odd that people choose that to hate on as opposed to all of the dislike, you
Yeah.
know?
Of all the
But I would agree
things
with
to
you. I think
pick,
Vanna.
to argue about with that band, it's very interesting that they chose that. Because I mean, Lucas definitely trolls on anybody who really gives him a hard time. I think,
Mhm.
his time away from the band was perfect because he needed that time to clear his head and be the personality he needed to be in Rings of Saturn again.
Absolutely. And I mean, it was for his own safety too. Like a big part of
Yeah.
the reason he left was
Dude.
people threatening him and stuff. Like he came out of people who were coming at him and threatening to physically harm him at shows and stuff. And it's like, as much as people want to hate on him for that context, doing music is not worth risking getting your ass beat every night. It's just not.
No.
It's just, but yeah, those guys are all exceptional. And I think that, everybody that's been a past member of my band, whether they're still doing music or not, we love them all, and they're all exceptional people at what they do. It just didn't work out.
No, and that is a great mindset to have because nobody wants to have a story going around that like, yeah, this guy was a piece of shit. He kicked me out of the band because he didn't like me or,
Hmm.
some bullshit like that. Like I've been in too many projects that were just like that. And it's both tragic and annoying, really.
Hmm.
It's more annoying than tragic, to be
Hmm.
honest.
Well, in my case, especially because there were a lot of times where we would have a lot of really good material and it gets lost in
The
the
void and shit.
well, because of all like personal disagreements or creative differences and whatnot. Like I telling you right now, man, I could have had 3 albums out if it weren't for personal beef. And it's
Hmm.
always some bullshit. It's never, anything that, couldn't be solved with,
Yeah.
a little
Right.
powwow, a nice, just sit down, talk it out, get it over with. And, it's always something simple like that.
Yeah. 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 We're just really lucky we haven't had to deal with that. It's been everyone that's left has said all of the contents that I've made for this project, you guys are free to use them and keep them however you like. There will be no disputes, anything like that. For example, when Alex left, instead of them being very upset about the fact that they had to go focus on real life, they said, you know what, like I'm going to hand over the rights to the name, everything about the band. Like this is all yours now. Like you do with it what you will. I'm not going to be petty about it. So I know that it's really common, and I'm just really lucky to have not had to deal with that yet.
Mm-hmm.
I find, because it can be bad.
I mean, we're probably gonna have the guy from We Are the End at some point on this show. He's been talking about trying to get on this show. It's just always a scheduling conflict with the two of us. But that's a good example of the kind of shit that you could deal with. I mean, you're dealing with people stealing songs or whatever, or claiming to steal songs, and that brings us right back to the whole Rings of Saturn thing. It's like there's always something to beef about.
Mm-hmm.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, it's best not to fucking focus on that and let the music fucking speak for itself.
Well, that's another thing with that situation. I was always curious about is like, let's say for the sake of the argument that that song was something that Lucas and I think Brandon is his name, right? The other guy.
Yeah, actually, I think you're right.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
might be.
Let's say that they did write that song together. I can't understand from a musical perspective if Brandon had the intention of using that song, why he hadn't reached out to Lucas and asked for it before. Because I'm really good friends with the drummer of Rings of Saturn, Mike Caputo, the one who recently got added to the band.
Right.
I'm really good friends with Mike, and I asked him about it, and I was like, Mike, like, what's going on? And essentially, what I gleaned from it was that it had never been an issue up until the point Lucas wanted to use the song. And again, like, no matter my opinions on Lucas, I can understand where he's coming from. I have the stems to this song, this almost fully fleshed out song, sitting in my files. No one's asked for it. No one's done anything. Even if it was a 50-50 thing, like, I feel like Brandon should have reached out and said, hey, man, like, can I get that song from you? Like, I don't want, whatever the situation, as opposed to it boiling over to this level, because I feel like it just causes the unnecessary beef. Like, they don't need to be arguing about this. I'm sure it could have been figured out behind closed doors.
Absolutely.
Without all of this excessive, like, people having to pick sides or whatever, because
that and like getting lawyers involved and shit like that, like it becomes so much bigger than like the situation itself. But like I do also feel like, and this is something that we will try to talk a little bit about with Brandon when we do finally get him on the show. We'll try to get to the bottom of it as much as possible. Obviously there's like legal obligations about what he can and cannot say regarding all of that, so we'll see what happens and what shakes out of that. But obviously, I mean, there has to be some sort of bitterness that had to have been the root or the crux of all of this, because I have a hard time.
Something that we don't know. Like,
I'm sure him and Lucas fight like goddamn rabid cats behind the scenes. Like, I'm sure they don't like each other at all, and I'm sure that does not help the situation at all.
Oh, probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, anything with like beef and trying to do something like 50-50 is never good. Like, it's going to end up biting them in the ass either way.
Exactly. And I think that, like, even if, like, whichever way the legal ruling goes, I don't think it's going to end the... I knocked my webcam
and it's gone.
And it's gone. No, we back. But either way, I don't think that the legal ruling that comes out of this is going to stop the beef.
No.
I really don't think
absolutely not. It might make it even worse.
Yeah, depending on who gets what,
Yeah,
it might affect it in different ways, and then it might become more of a dividing factor. That's why, like, through all this and all of these stories that I hear and all these horror stories,
take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I'm so glad that, like, all I care about is that my projects haven't had to deal with this. Yeah. Like, I watch and I just try and learn from other people and what they do in the music scene, and try not to make those same mistakes. That's where I am with most of what's going on right now.
That's a good place to think, because it's really easy to get swept up in the moment like that.
It's just and it's always something nowadays. I find it's
always something.
Yeah, it's like I love the community, and I love a lot of people that I met in the community, and I have some really, really, really good friends that I've made. But it almost gets to the point where it's scary to I don't want to say confide, but it's scary to basically put your trust in people now, because you never know.
No, it makes sense. It makes total sense.
Like, I'm scared to get certain, like, I would love to have some people, like, feature on my songs or to work with them musically or whatever. But logically, from a business standpoint, when I think about it, I can't justify it with most people because I don't know them that well. Right. What do I not know what skeletons in the closet do I not know about that could come out to affect them? And it's like, I'm not somebody who holds anything over everybody. I think people make mistakes and people change all the time. But there is something to be said for holding people accountable, I do think.
Right.
Well, since we're talking about, potential features that you would have liked to have had, let's talk about how it is that you managed to get Dickie Allen on this song, because as you were telling me before we had even scheduled this thing, that this was something of a convincing that you had to do to Dickie, not because he didn't want to do it or anything, but he was taking some time off of doing features or something to that effect.
Yeah,
is that right?
So we got really, really lucky with this, because Dickie, he's a good friend of ours and everything, and he's an absolute sweetheart. He's one of my favorite people.
He's a fucking monster.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely
a monster.
Insane. He's absolutely insane. And it was this weird time frame in his life where, I mean, you can go and from past years, you can find lots of features that Dickie's done, but if you look for this year, there's only 2 features that Dickie has put out. And one of them is for my band, and the other one came out about a month and a half ago.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
For a local Florida
I
band.
was actually just scrolling through Dickie Allen's features not too long ago.
Mm-hmm. And that's the only 2. I think the other one he did was for a band called Rat Stick, which is also a really good personal friend of his. And this whole year, he basically said, I'm not going to do any more features. It's so diluted. People will just throw money at him to get on their songs because names equal recognition nowadays.
I mean,
yeah, the social proof of it and everything.
Yeah. But the way that we ended up getting Dickie on it was he agreed to it quite a while ago, because Alex and I had asked him, we were like, hey, like, we don't want you to feel like you have to, and we'll pay you whatever you want, right? Like, whatever your rate is, just because we're friends doesn't mean we're not going to pay you for your work, because that's
Right.
I don't like to roll that way. I think that if you are good friends, you should pay people for their work. That's just good practice, in my opinion.
Homies support homies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know what? Like, I'm not going to charge y'all anything. And we were like, no, what do you want? Like, we're going to pay you something.
Yo, I could hear myself saying the same fucking
We're
thing.
We're going to give you something. What do you want?
He literally was just like, order a case of Bush to my house. And we were like,
what a fucking savage.
No, we were like, all right, man.
No way.
Yeah, that was the agreement.
I'm done.
So that's
honestly some shit I'd do, to be honest.
That's not even a joke.
That'd be some shit I'd do.
Take. But we sent him the song originally, and the song itself is like very I don't know how to put it, but it's very like a mix of like cattle decap and like a bunch of different stuff. We just
there is technicality in there, but to say it doesn't slam would be a fucking lie.
Yeah, no, it's a weird, like, we do our best when we write, no matter what it is, to even if people want to pin like a single riff that we do as generic or anything like that, we try to conglomerate all of our ideas into something that isn't. We try and like kind of coin our own sound, and our main goal for the most part has been up until this point at least, is to keep things like clean and interesting, but to also keep them a little bit dirtier than most of the deathcore bands do nowadays. We all really, really enjoyed like 2012 era deathcore, where the mixes weren't always like perfect. There was something about it was so visceral, it was just like all of us, for example, we really love bands like And Hell Followed With. We all really love that band, especially like Proprioception era. And we wanted something that was like that anger and that aggression, but it wasn't this cleanly polished, perfect thing that a lot of these bands are doing now. Not to take away from those guys, because some of these new bands, they are immaculate. They're playing, their mixes, everything, just top of the line. But for us, we're willing to sacrifice. Like, we may not be the most famous band out there if we can just make music that we like, for what it is. We're not trying to be something that we're not. So we sent the song to Dickie, and he really liked the song itself. I remember whenever we first sent to him, he listened to it while he was streaming, and he was like, this song fucking bangs. And we gave him the in slot because actually the feature that he did is also one of the longest he's ever done. It's about 1 minute and 40 seconds. Because the song itself is like 6-ish minutes.
It's a long one.
Yeah.
It's a big
especially for slam.
Yeah. And that was the thing with that song, is when we wrote it, we wrote it with the idea of, okay, so at the time we still had 2 vocalists. We wanted the first section to be very slammy, very like clear, and like a lot of people got like very like Vulvadinia type vibes from the beginning, which is exactly what we wanted. And then as it went into the chorus was a lot more melodic, a lot more riff based. We wanted like cattle decap mixed with like some more modern deathcore type riffs, but we wanted something that was like orchestral still. We wanted something that kept the vibe of like, this is not evil corny, this is like evil in itself. Like, we just wanted something to sound that aggressive and overbearing and that kind of thing. And I remember Dickie, actually, you could probably still go back and find the video, he actually recorded the feature for the song on stream as well, because he live streams on Twitch. I remember
I forgot he does.
Yeah, he recorded it live as well, and that was a really cool sight to see, because it was really cool to see him kind of break down how he records. And a little piece of information that not a lot of people know, the entire feature, and also the entirety of the new Infant Annihilator album, if you were wondering, for the most part, What's that noise? Is that me
I
again?
don't know.
I don't know what
I'm
that
gonna
noise
find
is.
it. The thing is, the cool thing about Zoom is that I get everybody's individual
Yeah.
audio tracks. So when I find it, I will fix it and it will be gone.
Yeah.
I will kill that.
I hope it's not me, but we'll find out. But with the new Infinite Annihilator album too, Dickie is an anomaly vocally in the way that he only records one track for almost everything.
Right. That
like vocally
makes a
and
lot of
everything.
sense, actually.
He doesn't double his layers almost ever.
I can see that, yeah.
Because it's his voice itself is just like he just has this weird knack for vocals and it just comes so clearly. Like that whole feature is just super clean one take layers. That's all he did. It blew my mind when I watched it. I was like, I've never seen a vocalist that could create those tones so naturally. It was so odd to me.
The other thing is that he gets right up on the mic. He's got an SM7B, right? So when he gets up on that mic, he's like right up on it too.
But he's practically like deep throating the fucking thing.
He's not as loud as you would think. He's really not.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. To say that he's whispering would be a fucking stretch.
No, he doesn't whisper at all. This is something that him and I talk about.
That's just disrespectful if you say it's a whisper. The fuck out of here.
There's different kinds of vocalists, and everybody prioritizes. Like as a vocalist, I see this all the time. All people want to care about is power. Everybody wants to be Alex Terrible 2.0.
Oh Jesus
and
Christ.
Alex is.
I mean, good luck
Alex
to
is
them.
a monster. Yeah, Alex is a monster.
Good luck.
That dude has more power in himself than like 30 vocalists combined. It's crazy. But that's not all that there is to doing vocals. Control and being very clear and pointed with what you're doing can sometimes make you sound just as powerful without having to put in all the effort. And that's what Dickie does. Is he has such insane control of his vocals that he sounds absolutely monstrous with almost no effort at all.
Now, I get the impression that he goes back and forth between vocal fry and false chord. That's why that's why he's not as loud, because I've noticed that the louder vocalists typically are false chord vocalists, but you get a cleaner sound when you're a vocal fry vocalist. You can typically hit those notes easier and hold them for longer, but the I guess you could say the weakness of doing it that way is that usually that means you sacrifice volume or like you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I get you. So like I teach vocals as well, so I know exactly what you're going for. From what I know about Dickie, most of his vocals are just like a weird mix. He, especially like his lows have like a false chord bass, but he creates some kind of fry in a soft palette, and it helps add that really like crispy overtone that you get. It's odd. A lot more people do mix than they realize. But it's something that he is like a master at. He can just move between the two and combine them so fluidly.
In order to do that, you have to have control over the part of your throat that closes and opens, because when you're false chord screaming, it's open. And when you're vocal fry, it's closed, but there's just enough space for the air to get out. And that's why you don't get as much projection. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it works. So like for him, like whenever he's doing his fry, instead of it just being like slightly open, he can like maintain his vocal fry but open his air passage wider than the average person. It's very interesting how it works. And like the funny part is he has no clue about anything to do with vocals. Like, he's like, I don't know what I do. He's like, I just scream into a microphone and it works.
Just fucking go for it. Just send it.
Have you seen any time Phil Bozeman has been asked that question?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same.
It's
thing.
the same.
Like, I don't know.
He almost gets annoyed by the question. He's like, I don't fucking know. I just make noises.
Or no, like chill the fuck out. Like I was recently watching the Suicide Silence Mitch Lucker memorial with my girlfriend.
Oh man.
And she didn't know Suicide Silence whatsoever. And I made sure to every vocalist that came out, I looked them up and stuff like that. And I told her exactly, because she's curious, obviously, because I do this podcast and I listen to heavy music. So she's evolved is basically what I'm saying. But like Phil is just a monster, bro.
Oh man.
And like after I watched like I think it's the second or third time I've watched it, I've noticed more like, especially Austin Carlisle, Jesus Christ. That man. the problem, like some people didn't like his stuff, but it's like he made it his own. Like every other vocalist that was on that concert,
Yeah,
it's like they made it their own. It's not Mitch's. Nobody's gonna be like Mitch. Nobody in the world is gonna be like Mitch.
There have been some that are pretty fucking close.
Oh yeah, I mean even Eddie, their actual vocalist now.
Yeah,
his highs almost sound literally identical to Mitch's highs. It's ridiculous.
I don't know if this is leaked or not yet, but fuck it. I heard from a reliable source that All Shall Perish is coming back.
Now that would be exciting because All Shall Perish always had better riffs, I guess is the best way to put it.
I always thought Eddie was a better vocalist in that band too, because I feel like in Suicide Silence he tries to replicate Mitch, but with All Shall Perish he's him.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I
think with Suicide Silence he focuses on the energy that Mitch was really focused on, and that's why almost all of their recordings are done live, like as a full band in studio. Like they perform the whole thing as a band, and especially I think what's really interesting about the self-titled EP is the way that they went about recording that whole fucking thing. They were in like a basement somewhere recording this whole thing together. Everything's mic'd up and everything, and he's just going all out. So like drum mics are picking up his vocals, and like there's just a lot of really interesting layers to it. And that, it's kind of shitty that the Teehee meme overshadowed how beautiful the rest of the record came out.
I agree. I listened because I remember that whole thing. Everybody just constantly shit on.
I tried to listen to it. I tried to, but I just couldn't. I couldn't get over it. I couldn't. Yeah. And it sucks because it's a good ass band. I love the band to death, and I've seen them live with Eddie, and it's just. I wish I saw Mitch. Obviously, I mean that's every Suicide Silence fan.
Yeah,
or that I should say after Mitch's death, because I've wanted to see Mitch live. I've also wanted to see Chester live from Linkin Park. I never got to see him live. I've never gotten to see that band period live. It's the same with Papa Roach. I wanted to see Papa Roach live, but
at least Jacoby Shaddix is still running free.
Jesus Christ, please.
Please. If you take that man's away from me, 2020 is fucking
I swear to God, it's canceled.
No. Canceling 2020. It never happened.
I'm telling you right now, if something happened to Corey Taylor 2020,
dude,
the metal scene will blow up, bro. The metal scene will explode.
All scenes would be talking about it if something happened to Corey Taylor. And then we'd be still hearing articles, for the next couple of years of Corey Taylor thinks this, Corey Taylor said this.
Yeah.
It would still be
Corey Taylor took a shit today. It was crazy. Yeah. His last shit was this time and this second, this day. Shit, dude. It's the anniversary of the year shit.
I'm surprised that man hasn't started a podcast or a publication.
I'd listen to it. Fuck
it.
I'd listen to it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, with the freaking effect, to quote Finn McKenty, man, the Corey Taylor effect that he has just got on everybody, man.
The funny part is as a musician, and I know this is sacrilege, I only like one Slipknot song, actually. I know people are gonna burn me at the stake for that, but I
kind of wanna.
The only Slipknot song I really like is Eyeless. But even then, I have.
All right.
I mean, but have you seen them live? Have you seen them live?
And that's the thing. I haven't had the chance, and I have the utmost respect for Corey Taylor because the dude is one, a master at his craft, and two, has some insane insight.
All I have to say is watch them live whenever we get live shows back. Mm-hmm. People equal shit.
Okay.
That one goes pretty fucking hard.
People equal shit, or Spit It Out.
Now that is the song I was actually going to ask.
That's what I meant to say. Spit It Out, because I don't listen to that song unless it's live. I swear to God, I will not listen to it until it's live. To this day, I've seen them 4 or 5 times, and I've never listened to that song unless it's live, because you can't experience that jump the fuck up, that huge fucking memorial thing that they do.
I feel that way about a lot of artists too. For example, one of my artist that I would say exemplifies that is actually Spite.
So Darian is a hell of a vocalist.
Yeah.
I'm gonna opt myself out because I don't like Spite.
Well, that's the thing is I understand that a lot of people don't like Spite because on record a lot of time it can come across as simple, easy beat down, and As much as I enjoy the band for what they are, I do think that Darius makes that band. Without that band, if they put another vocalist in it that didn't have the energy and the aggression and the power in that band, it wouldn't be the same. Darius makes Spite. But what really sells me on them is when you see them live, it doesn't matter what song it is, you cannot replicate that energy. And the album does it no justice. I mean, I remember the first time I ever saw them was, I think, with Knocked Loose back in like 2016 or 17, back when they were just first starting to tour. And it was a crazy show. I think it was like Knocked Loose, Spite. Who else? I think Kublai Khan was on there because Kublai Khan stayed.
Now that, if you told me Spite and Kublai Khan were on the bill, I don't care who else is there. I'm going. I'm there.
And then I think I Am as well was on there, and I Am is.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, all you had to say was Knock Loose and Kublai Khan, and I was there.
Yeah.
Like, that's
How
all
did
you had
anybody
to say.
make it out of there alive?
That's what I was gonna say. Is like I remember getting physically harmed at that show, and I was completely cool with it.
Oh my God.
But it was. I remember seeing them live, and like Darius got on stage, and like I have never seen somebody just flip a switch like that. It wasn't just like he was performing. It was like for that 30 minutes he was on stage, he completely lost his mind. He was just
either he did that or get killed.
Yeah,
or something like that.
He was like, it was like you just let a serial killer out of an insane asylum type stuff.
I mean, fuck it.
Yeah, and that's what sold me on him, is I was like, this guy is absolutely something else. And that's what really sold me on them, because before that I had heard the music and I was like, they're good. You know, they are what they are. They're just beat down with a really good vocalist. But after seeing them live, I was a true fan. So and I feel like maybe that's what Slipknot is for me too. If I see them live, it might really change how I see them.
You know, I didn't like Under Oath until I saw them live. So like a lot of bands, regardless of the genre, I think a lot of times you do have to see a band perform live to really appreciate their sound.
Or it could be the complete opposite, because I liked Avenged Sevenfold until I saw them live.
I've heard that they're not great.
They are fucking garbage live, and I hate it. I hated it. I won't listen to a single song by them anymore. It was so bad. It was at Mayhem Fest. It was like, I was so disappointed and so mad.
That's like, so frustrating, because I used to like that band quite a bit.
Oh, I did too.
I still do.
I can't stand that fucking
Their old
band.
stuff, like I'll still listen to like City of Evil and the Self-Titled.
Oh
and
God, Sounding of the Seventh Trumpet, like just those.
Yeah, that's a good album too.
Just those 3 albums alone are.
I mean, if you would, if I had to, I would listen to Nightmare, that song, and I would listen to So Far Away. I listen to that song too, but ever since that day or that concert, that Mayhem Fest, I can't listen to them ever.
I've heard their live shows are just not that interesting.
No, not at all. They may look the part, but no, because I don't know if I said this on the podcast before. It might have been a long old episode, maybe even 4 or 3 or something like that, like crazy down the line. I saw them live, like I said, and they had a drummer that could not drum.
Was that when they had that kid playing that?
I don't know. I can't remember, but all I remember is because I was in the lawn at SPANK, Saratoga SPANK, and they had this screen that would zoom in to see the people perform and shit like that. And they zoomed into the drums, and like he didn't like move an inch, and it sounded like he was playing songs, and it was like
Jesus.
It was that bad, and I was like, well.
I mean, that's one thing for me is especially. I mean, I guess when you're a stadium band, it's one thing, but for me, I totally get backing tracks. Being a musician live, you do need backing tracks. That's just inarguable. But I really do appreciate a lot of the bands that are like, for example, Knocked Loose. I know a lot of people hate it on and still do. I love
Knocked Loose.
Yeah, I've always loved Knocked Loose because I was like a hardcore kid before I did anything. I remember because like I'm from Houston. That's like my home city, and Houston is a huge city for hardcore. All of our local bands are hardcore. Like we had almost no death metal. We had like 2 deathcore bands. Like it was all hardcore bands. That's all people gave a shit.
And you're like, deathcore,
yeah.
Hardcore.
Well, I mean, and our 2 deathcore bands were like hardcore influenced deathcore bands too.
That's
like,
amazing.
Yeah.
Yo, we have a couple of those here in New York for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that like I remember like that was just what I came up on, and then I heard Knocked Loose, and like people in Houston for the most part really liked Knocked Loose for the sole reason of it was bringing hardcore to the masses, right? They may be metalcore or whatever, but they were bringing like
I
fight
don't think
riffs
they're
and two
metalcore.
steps.
I don't
Well,
think
like
they're metalcore.
people, I think the thing is people are creating this new, like, it's like called third wave metalcore, but it's supposed to be like Knock Loose, Varials, Kublai Khan, and it's not like traditional metalcore, but it's this heavy ass beater type stuff, and they just want to call it metalcore. It's like I consider this very hardcore based music. Maybe it's not traditional New York hardcore or whatever. I have people say that all the time, but I'm like, it's still bringing people who wouldn't normally listen to the genre into music influenced by that, and that's all I care about, you know.
So I just struggle with the idea that there's any metal influence in those bands, enough so to call them hardcore bands. I mean, second wave hard metalcore, I had a problem with calling those guys metalcore bands because a lot of them were post-hardcore in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those had too much emo influence in order to truly call them metalcore. But
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Like metalcore is become kind of an umbrella term.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Yeah, especially now because it was new metal, wasn't it? It was new metal at one point.
Well, anything that raps is new metal now, apparently, but whatever.
I mean actually,
honestly,
now it should be trap metal at this point.
Right.
It's not new. Like new metal isn't even a thing anymore at this point.
I was gonna say the only band that's like new metal that I've seen doing anything is Tala. Those guys are sick as fuck.
Oh,
I don't know, man. There's a lot of really big ones out there right now, and I think the thing about that is that the term trap metal is a very confusing term, and even people that like make that style of music struggle with calling themselves trap metal. Dropout Kings is a great example of that. They are a genuine hardcore metalcore band that has rapping, like a lot of rapping in it. It also has like serious Linkin Park vibes. So like I don't I think we're getting to the point where genres are starting to fade. There's just too many influences and stuff where it's really hard to like stick people into specific genres.
Yeah, and it's like you're always gonna have your purists. Like I always make fun of him for it, but I have a really good friend. He's the vocalist of a band called the Merciless Concept, and he used to be the vocalist of Suffocation. His name is Kev Muller. I'm getting the buzz. No, are we good? No, we're good. Okay,
we're good.
Yeah, but he used to be the vocalist of Suffocation after Frank left. And his band, if you guys haven't heard it, is called the Merciless Concept. They're from New York too. They're the whole Long Island death metal thing. And
oh my god, they sound familiar. They sound familiar, but
they're very
like so many good bands out of Long Island though.
Yeah, I agree. But they're very like traditional death metal influence, but with like good mixing and mastering, and the things that matter.
I love how you said that, like actually good production.
Like, yeah, actually.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, I know, but he's a purist. For example, like I was talking to him yesterday, and I brought up like that Boundaries put out a new album, and he was a big Boundaries fan before like Hartford County Misery was like just like a beatdown album. Like that band was heavy as shit. And then they put out a new album that was like post-hardcore metalcore with like some ass beater riffs on it. I don't know if you guys have listened to it yet.
To be honest with you, like I hear Boundaries get talked about a lot, and they're just one of those bands that like for one reason or another, I'm just too busy checking out other bands to like actually check out that one. But I'll get around to it for sure.
Yeah, I recommend the new stuff if you like because I'm a big fan of post-hardcore. Like I've always enjoyed post-hardcore, ranging from like Law Dispute is still one of my favorite bands, as cringy and edgy as they are.
I'm finally starting to get to a point where I appreciate Law Dispute.
Yeah, because I've always been, as a vocalist, somebody that's really into lyricism. That can sell me on music no matter how it sounds. So if you're a good lyricist.
Imagine me loving Alisana in my teenage years, but not liking Law Dispute.
I was going to say it. Like, it's
dude, that was me. I hated on Law Dispute, but I loved Alisana. So it's like, honestly, how can you love one but not the other? It's a weird one for me.
They definitely played off of each other, and like another good example of bands like that a lot of people hate is like Touche Amore. Like that band got a lot of hate because they do that same format, but I think that they're really good. That's one thing that I focus on is like my band is slamming deathcore, but I put a lot of work into my lyrics. I think that being you know, a good lyricist and almost a poet, as opposed to just writing down scary words about brimstone and fire, can do a lot for your music when it comes to this type of stuff. Because that's what everybody does. They're always like, oh, evil, scary things. Oh,
I've actually
I
heard a
think
couple
you're
of
talking
bands.
about black metal.
that's every deathcore band too now.
I mean, yeah,
They're
now
blackened. That is funny. I mean, like, look, I fucking love blackened deathcore. I will defend that till the sun goes down. Even more so when the sun goes down, because that probably fits the theme better. But whatever. But like, I've actually caught people ripping lyrics out of the Book of Satanic Rituals, and I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me! You have to be more original than that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, demonology is fascinating. I get it, but you can't just straight steal the lore. Otherwise, what are you actually doing that brings something interesting to the table?
If you can't,
it's
if you can't put your own play on things, then I feel like it kind of takes away from. Because like, for example, I think there are a lot of really, really good vocalists out there who can't write lyrics worth of shit,
and they should hire a lyricist.
Yeah, and if that's the case, have somebody else write your lyrics. But if your lyrics,
I mean, I'm not a good vocalist, but I can't write. I can't write.
And that's the thing, though, is like, these are people I know that are. I'm not gonna name any names because I'm just not gonna start any beef, because it's just not fucking worth it. It's just not worth it.
It's not worth it.
It's not. But, I get it.
But there are a lot of bands I know that are, I guess, what you would call peers of mine and everything, and I have a lot of respect for the dudes as vocalists. But I can't stand how they write. It's just this constant. It's the same format, and it's like, that would be good, cool if your format was good, but it's not. Like, this book of 6 scary words, and think that it's going to create an entire album for you.
Death, Satan, fire.
I'm like, put a little bit more into it. And then another thing that gets me is the topics that people write about, especially in deathcore. I really try to take a lot from more post-hardcore and stuff like that, because I'd like to write more about things like mental health, or the concept of you know, self versus reality and things like that, and realizing that it be more introspective with it, I guess is the right term. But a lot of these up and coming bands, it's either my girlfriend left me and I hate her, or evil, Satan, death, ashes and brimstone, and etc.
You touched on the 2 biggest issues we have in death metal and like modern heavy music as a whole: fake Satanism and misogyny.
Yep.
Like, those are the 2 biggest issues we have in this scene, to be honest with you. And I'm not talking about like the actual big issues, which I guess, if we're being real here, is
that's a whole rabbit hole.
Yeah, like, let's not get into that.
So, yeah, but I mean, you know, I think that it's hard to be original in today's age, but at the same time, it's not that hard to write about shit you know about. I mean, I think that's what it takes to make you stand out amongst other bands.
And also, like, especially relatable things too, like depression, mental health, and like,
that's so, like, for example,
I mean, I personally like writing about depression, suicidal thoughts, and like
sad boy
what
shit.
Sad boy shit, like emo rap. Well, that's what I love.
Like, to give context, for example, like the song that features Dickie on it, right? Like, that song in and of itself is from 3 different perspectives, right? There's the other vocalist, myself, and then Dickie, and each perspective is a different person. The other vocalist played the part of a person going through like a mental health collapse, right? And whenever I come in, I played the part of that person's psyche within that mental health collapse. And then Dickie plays the part of, I guess you would say, the like ending, like the purveyor of like what would lead a person down the road to suicide during that mental health collapse. You know, there's different things like that you can play on, and it doesn't always have to be like, I feel like people are scared to talk about mental health in this genre and in this community.
People shouldn't.
No, I agree.
Because a lot of people go through mental health. It's just there. It's normal. It sucks that it can't be normalized when it already is.
So what bothers
me
sometimes is that, like, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But damn, am I glitching?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. Anyway, what I was saying was that like I think that there's this
No, I think you're good.
idea that you're being disingenuous and you're going for the sad shit to kind of harp on or necessarily ride on that wave of already sad boy shit.
I get that shit, but it's like
that's what I feel like is the biggest reason why they don't.
No, I understand, but it's like if people enjoy that shit, write it. And if you feel that shit, and if you've been through that shit, I feel like fucking write it because somebody is going.
I feel like you can tell.
Yeah,
you can always tell.
Oh, you can. Yeah,
what they're singing about.
Absolutely, you can always tell who.
Yeah. Everybody related to that.
Like, you can, yeah. Everybody relates to. that was. I wanted to kill myself back in 2001.
Yeah, that was my take on depression from the perspective of someone who actually just killed themselves.
But literally, like. I personally think that it should be normalized. I mean, depression is normalized at this point. I mean, suicidal tendencies and suicidal thoughts and shit like that is normalized in this society.
I also think it's cathartic to write about that stuff. I think that that's a release for you as a lyricist and a writer.
It's a release.
Write about it and talk about it because the more open you are about it, the more likely you are to actually move on.
Yeah, because you can't dwell on something that happened like. I don't know, like 2 or 5, even like 10 years ago at that point.
Well, the reality is that everybody currently that I see, or no, I don't want to say everybody, but a majority of people that I see currently, they're writing what they think people want to hear. And that's cool.
Right.
And if that's the music you want to make, that's completely fine. It's your art. You do whatever you like. But for me personally, I don't write my lyrics or my music for other people. I write it for me. The whole experience is cathartic. Like, I only put what I put into my music for the sole reason of I want to get that out. I don't really care who hears it. I don't care what they think about it.
Right.
If people like it, great. If we get a good reception, amazing. You know, I'm not going to complain. I'm not gonna do anything like that. But for me, comparative to a lot of people, I find that like people get so wrapped up in like how many likes and clicks and views and everything they get on their songs that they don't realize that like I'm not proud of your art, and if you can't say that your art doesn't mean something to you, then I can't understand why you would do it, you know?
Right.
I don't know. I feel like the lyrics, die you fucking whore, you putrid waste of space, you stop. I can't even go. That meant so much to me when I heard him.
That meant so much to me.
Bet you're dead.
Absolutely relatable.
But what is really relatable is that they will never play that song live, and I'm a little disappointed I'll never hear it live because that song goes fucking hard.
Asking Alexandria.
Yo, I'm actually glad you brought up Asking Alexandria because before when you were talking about how disappointed you were with Avenged Sevenfold live, that was my band. Asking Alexandria was terrible live when I saw that.
They were with Avenged Sevenfold. They were at the same Mayhem Fest. They were almost actually Avenged Sevenfold was the main event.
What year was this?
Oh God, Jesus Christ! I think I was still in high school.
So that had to have been at least 5 years ago.
2014 or 2015.
That's when they still sucked live. Yep.
Yeah.
They still sucked live then.
I mean, don't get me. I personally didn't think they sucked, but I was like, that was one of the bands that got me into heavier music. So I was happy to see them live.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, were they bad? Not in my opinion, maybe in others' opinions. But I personally enjoyed everything that they put out. I mean, the newer stuff obviously is completely different from what they used to do. Completely different. But that's just the way that Danny is. I mean,
I think every band evolves to a certain point. I mean, no matter
you
what band you are, no matter what band we're talking about, whether it's Whitechapel, Asking Alexandria, or even just fucking Cannibal Corpse, after 10 years, you're going to see things a little bit different. Obviously.
Or you can be like Papa Roach and evolve every single album.
Yo, I get that. I like that.
I mean, but like, fuck it.
To expect every band to be like Cannibal Corpse or, you know, I don't know, fucking Devil Wears Prada, or not Devil Wears Prada.
No, Jesus Christ.
They sound different every album, and they did the opposite. They're evolving backwards right now.
They're devolving.
And by the way, if you're listening, guys, first of all, we made it. Second of all, I didn't mean that. I'm lying. I'm just kidding. I'm just saying that for clicks.
We love you.
We do love you. But for real though, like, to expect that every band is going to have the same style of music they like 10 years down the line and still want to write the same style of music 10 years down the line is just a fucking lie. Nobody really does that.
No, and nobody should, right? Because I wouldn't want to write the same music now that I was writing as a 15-year-old kid. Don't get me wrong. I still have like little hidden gems that I don't really show off to people that I wrote. Like, when I was, a teenager, like I used to be in a progressive metalcore band in high school, and we put out one song that was like an absolute banger, and
you can just call it Jen.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, whatever.
Just saying.
Whatever.
Whatever. But like, I still wouldn't want to be writing that same kind of music now. It's just you should progress, and if you don't progress, then there's kind of an issue in my opinion.
I mean, if you put out, it sucks to say, but if you put out like, I don't know, like a huge, like just one album of everything that you've been through, everything that you've trying to achieve and shit like that, and you just stop. I mean, I don't know what I'm going through with it. I think that would be like, if I was an artist, I would only write one album about everything that I've been through and shit like that, and just let it ride.
Your life story in a
sense. Basically
one and done.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I would love to write more material, I don't know what to write after that point, because I wouldn't want to like do the same shit.
I could see that.
And the thing is like, you and I have talked about music that we're going to write at some point or another. And the fun thing is that the music you and I want to write together is fucking porno grind. Like, we just want to write something goofy, stupidly over the top heavy,
and mostly we just want to do like covers and shit. But I do want
to do a lot of covers.
Porno grind is an extremely underrated genre of music.
Seriously, thank you. Somebody has said this shit. Thank you.
For the sole reason that anybody who does porno grind does it because they want to do it, and they're always way better musicians than necessary for porno grind. They just do it for fun, and I appreciate that.
Oh my god!
I just want to do porno grind to say that we did it, like that I've done it.
Yeah. Like, I'll put up a 5-song EP now just to say that we did it, and then move on to the project. To this day,
like, I go back, I listen to like Sperm Swamp, Torso Fuck.
Oh my god, Sperm Swamp!
Oh, you named all the bands that I listened to right there.
Yeah.
Anal Cunt. I still listen to Anal Cunt.
Yeah, dude. Like,
I have a shirt that I can't find that my girlfriend folded, and I can't find it.
I remember when I was like a freshman in high school, like, Raped by Elephants was like the go-to for porno grind memes. Like,
dude, yes. And I think one of our friends, I think it was Roman that showed me from As Hell Followed With.
You mix them up all the time.
Oh my god, I do it every fucking time. I'm gonna blow my head off. I'm done.
They were our first interview.
I know
remember them forever. They
the Hopewell Furnace.
The Hopewell Furnace. That's the one.
I fuck with that band.
And by the way, we don't know who else is still in that band, by the way.
Yeah, we haven't really figured that out. But you know what? When they hit the scene again, I'll be excited either way.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just a little bit questionable about certain members of that band right now. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm not going to say nothing.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
I'm not going to say nothing.
Yeah.
Because
I do respect for those guys.
I have respect for every single one of them. There is... I mean, specifically one person, but I'm not going to say that name. I'm not going to say their name, blah, blah, blah.
It never happened.
It's never happened. But either way, I think it was, we're doing better than ever. We're going to build a wall in metalcore, and metalcore is never going to.
We're going to build a wall, and it's going to be a wall of death, the likes of which you've never seen. There will be bodies everywhere.
There's gonna be bodies. There's gonna be dead babies after. It's gonna be terrible. God. It's gonna be crazy. But anyway, but Roman Roman sent me porno because he loves porno grind. He sent me I think it was Lesbian Scissoring or something of that band. It was like something lesbians or something crazy like that.
Where's my lesbian porno grind band? We need that. like all lesbian.
If I can find
that would be the best thing for the scene.
I love that there are like smaller bands too, like making porno grind mainstream, like Dehumanizing a Tatron Worship and bands like that.
Yes.
Like they're kind of like bringing it into like people, because then all like the slam kids, they hear it and they're like, oh, this is kind of heavy, and
this
they get
kind of lit.
Yeah.
And then I can be like, if you like real porno grind, you got to listen to this Operation Cunt Destroyer shit. These guys are the realest porno grind ever.
You got to listen to like fucking Wills, bro. Like that shit goes hard. Like when I hit fruit salad, bro, I turn up and kill my cat, bro. I put holes in all my walls.
I will say, on the other hand of that, there have been some of the most atrocious, terrible fucking bands I've ever heard coming out recently on some of the metal platforms. Like, holy shit, what is going on? Like, I understand making subpar shitty slam for the sake of it, but what's the one? There's one that's like something furry massacre.
Stop!
Yeah,
I don't even.
Like
just the name of that makes me cringe.
Yeah,
please don't.
Like the coronavirus band.
Coronavirus.
Whoever you are, if you hear this, I swear to God.
Yeah,
whoever you are, if you're in that band, your band is dog shit, and I'm not afraid to say that.
Fuck you.
I like their band from a satirical perspective, but I don't know that guy very well.
Yeah, it just seems it's a lot, and it's like, if you're gonna do meme stuff, I have no problem with that, but at least be good. Like,
at least be good, yeah.
Let's also, since we're talking about bands that are intentionally bad for the sake of being bad, there is actually a band that is the alphabet twice and then ectomy at the end.
I've heard of those guys, yeah.
That guy's hit us up before, and I think his band is fucking atrocious. I even told him that. Like, I don't like his band, but I think it's funny. I like where he's going. Like, I
fucking hate it, but I respect it. Keep going.
Everybody jumped on that train after the guys from Volvo started that Zavleg whatever.
Oh, yeah.
55 gore. 55
yes,
gore. That's
another
way to put it. Yeah, that's
yeah.
See, I never say 55 gore. I've always said Zavleg or something to that effect.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But ever since those guys started doing that, it's like,
fuck it.
Yeah.
All right, we are going to take a quick break because Kyle has to pee really bad.
It's all good.
I shall return, and we will be back.
Gotcha.
All right.
These fucking flies! We're back.
You good?
These fucking flies, bro. I have little gnats right now that are in my house.
Oh, you had this issue last year.
Yeah, and it's pissing me the fuck off.
I mean, I have the same issue. I have these little apple-shaped things that are like drawing all the snakes. We were just talking about snakes. Drawing all the fucking flies.
Talking about snakes, Pat.
I was talking about snakes because I was thinking about draining my snake. You know. In any case, dicks are snakes apparently, and
sure.
I put apples out to draw fruit flies to kill them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, fruit flies aren't that bad. Like, fruit flies are not bad.
Bro, flies in general are just annoying as shit, though.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I had regular flies, and that was my whole summer, and it pissed me right off.
God, that made me so fucking mad.
Oh, my God. And now it's these little gnats. They're, like, so tiny that you can barely hit one, and when you hit one, you feel like a god.
Yeah, I love insects. I think insects are some of the coolest creatures on the planet. I don't fuck with flies, roaches, or centipedes.
The fucking water bugs too. The water bugs. The water bugs are fucking hilarious.
But being in Texas, do you have a lot of like road problems? I don't know if that's actually a thing in Texas.
I'm lucky because I do live next to the coast, but I'm lucky because I live in a nice house.
There you go.
I know what you're going to.
Yeah,
I know what you're trying to say. Yes.
Yeah, and we get sprayed and everything for it. But yes, down here, especially because I live next to the Gulf, there can be some monster fucking roaches down here.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Fucking water roaches that are like this big type shit.
Did you just fucking say water roach? I didn't even.
Yeah, there's a water roach, bro. Yeah, hell yeah.
Roach.
And like
they'll sometimes go down, like they'll like come out of your shower drain sometimes.
Yeah,
that's up.
No, that's
You're
what
writing the story that like is the horror story for every woman in my life.
No, bro, Franz. Yo, Pat, I follow Franz, and Franz He lives in Florida. So he has like 7 bathrooms or some stupid shit like that. And he's like, yo, I haven't flushed this toilet in a couple of months. And when I flushed it, 1 million roaches came out of the fucking toilet. So that's why you always flush your toilets. Always. You don't
pay for water now, so if it's yellow, let it mellow.
No, bro, like swear to God, that's what he said. Like 40 roaches came out as soon as he flushed it, like right out of there.
Yeah. Luckily though, usually spraying handles that issue, and especially with it being drier and everything is way down here because global warming and all that.
It doesn't exist. Shut your mouth.
It's not real. But
since we're talking about,
we haven't had like a lot of rain.
I mean, I used to have a lot of water bugs in my old apartment. Like they used to be like this fucking long and like that fucking thick. Like,
I'm getting hungry.
Protein right there, bruh.
Hell yeah.
But I personally have never. I mean, I think I've dealt with roaches at Regis, but I've never dealt with roaches in my home life. I've only dealt with water bugs.
First hotel I was supposed to stay at before I actually was moved into Arizona had a roach in it on the wall, like it was smacked. And
you mean like a bug roach, like
no cockroach?
Roach. Oh, okay.
Cockroach had to have been an inch is about the right size, I would say, on the wall. Looked like somebody smacked it with like a fly swatter, and it was just stuck there.
It was probably like a flip flop or some shit. Come on, be real.
In Arizona, this was a very cheap hotel, so you're probably right. You probably right.
Or they probably hit him with their cock or some shit, bro.
My first impression of Arizona, dude.
Imagine there's like an older man who like brought a hooker to the hotel or whatever, and they're like doing their thing, and he like pushes her against the wall, and her head is what crushed the roach.
Yo! Or it's like this one guy has like a date or something with a ghetto chick, and this girl's like, baby, I deal with fucking roaches all the time, and smacks it, and then proceeds to fuck him.
Because he's too much of a pussy to squish himself,
Listen here, simp, I got you.
No, I'm done.
Rob kicks you onto the bed, whacks the fucker with a flip-flop, and then's like, all right.
The worst part of it is that with the big roaches, you can hear the crunch.
Oh yeah, you can hear everything.
Ugh.
Everything.
I stepped on a couple of them.
Oh yeah.
Like
it's just,
I worked at the airport. I worked at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport for 3 years. The amount of cockroaches I've seen just walking up to the airport was the most amazing part of it.
Done.
And some of them fuckers fly. Like,
oh yeah.
No, they all fly, bro. No, not some of them. They all fly. Like, fuck out of here.
I grew up with this understanding that there are cockroaches and there are flying cockroaches. So, to my knowledge, that was all I knew.
No, it's like cockroaches and cockroaches that want to fuck with you, and those are the ones that fly at you.
Those ones are disrespectful. Those are the ones that are disrespectful.
Yeah.
Fucking facts,
bro. Moral of the story is fuck cockroaches.
I'm sleep, bro.
Now, I think we would all appreciate coronavirus or coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
Shout out to our homie. I think we would appreciate that if it actually killed cockroaches or something other.
Cockroaches
than
live through everything. They're just unkillable.
Yeah, literally.
I mean, like 16 trillion fucking brains.
Yeah, if I may quote DC Young Fly from 85 South show, he stepped on one when he was a kid, and he like put his foot up, and it just walked away. It was like, fuck you. Like, those things are fucking crazy.
This is one my mom tells me all the time. Apparently when I was real little, like less than like a year old or some shit, we used to be poor, so we lived in a trailer, and there were roaches there, like here and there. And apparently one time she found me at the floor of the pantry, and I turned around and I had like half a cockroach sticking out of my mouth. Yeah, that's some shit I'm glad that I don't remember.
Okay.
Oh my god.
What I want to know is like, if you like look really closely, can you see like some fine print of like actual like nutrition facts or something?
I'm pretty sure you probably have.
Not even kidding here. Like, apparently there's been a lot of scientific research lately into like creating what's called cockroach milk, and it's like just crushed up cockroaches and stuff.
Get the fuck out of here! No,
it's so high in protein.
Is this Fear Factor?
We are ending. No, we're ending this interview right now. I'm done. I call this is the line. We're fucking this time, bro.
Take
We're
your
done.
headphones off. I want to hear this. Ethan, please go.
Fuck out of here.
Apparently, it's so high in nutrition that it could help solve world hunger.
Shut the fuck up!
Shut the fuck up! I'm done.
I've always been supportive of the idea of bug protein. All right, especially here in America. We fat as fuck over here.
We fat as fuck, boy.
Protein. There's like no calories, all protein, pretty much.
That's fucking wild.
And then you pair that with the shelf space that you would need. Honestly, like, it's such a sustainable business if you think about it from an actual business perspective. What the only thing you have to get over, the only hump that you have to get over is
it being a cockroach.
Cockroaches.
Yeah.
It fucking easy. We had Fear Factor in this country after all.
Yeah.
So oh man, could you imagine 20, 30 years down the road, we're going to solve the world hunger crisis by just eating every motherfucker cockroaches. We're just not going to tell them.
Yeah, I'm done after. Like, if that happens, I just won't eat.
No, at that point, I'm blowing my head off. That's it. That's it.
So what they do is they start by putting it in the box, in like the huge, like, what do you call the protein powder shit?
Shit.
Oh, the kegs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things. You start there. You call it bug protein. You don't tell them what bugs are in it. You just tell them what nutritional factors.
Just say it's fucking protein.
Yes, just protein. All right.
Because I mean, let's be real. How many people actually read the nutrition facts, right? Like they would have to read it to see.
Bodybuilders probably do.
Yeah, bodybuilders do 100%.
They want the most nutrition for the smallest amount of
facts.
Food. But they'll be the ones that'll be like gains are more important than eating bugs. They'll be like,
we'll do it. And there's some people that are like that. I mean, it's usually
as a flex.
Oh yeah, but those usually have steroids in their system. But that's besides the point.
I think we come up with a sustainable business model here, guys.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
For start selling bug food.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yo, I got that good.
Imagine you go to the store and you don't pick up a gallon of whole milk. It's just cockroach milk. Ugh.
Oh my god, that'd be.
Babe, I forgot the cockroach milk. I accidentally grabbed whole milk.
No, it'd be the other way around. I grabbed cockroach milk instead of whole milk. Fuck. All right, whatever. I'll just deal.
Yo, I guarantee you that will never expire. That will never 100%.
No, the reality of it is that like I'm sure that like it would be okay. I'm sure it would taste fine or whatever. But the problem comes when like a little bit of cockroach gets through the filtering process.
Yo, stop! Yo, stop! Yo, stop! Stop!
You're just like drinking it. You have like a leg sticking in your mouth.
No.
Yo!
We had an issue with our grinders. All right, they didn't finally grind.
Yo, Pat, stop! Pat, stop! Fucking puke! Stop!
If anything we have said on this podcast has gotten us demonetized, it would be this.
Yeah.
And we're not even monetized.
With or without legs. With or without legs.
Dude, we're gonna get demonetized because Jeff Bezos is gonna steal our idea and start making cockroach milk.
I swear, dude.
Into the universe.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna make it my life. I will kill that man.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
That's my
dream. I will marry
right
that
there.
man just for a couple mil.
Dude, you marry him and you get a divorce. You become the second richest man on the planet. Come on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would suck that dick. I would. Yes,
all day.
I have gotten an actual spit take on the show. You know how long
I didn't spit. Fuck you. I did not spit. I did not spit. You will never get me to waste beer. Fuck out of here.
Whatever. Spitters are quitters anyway.
Exactly.
Hey man, I give. All I'm saying is that Bezos has more than enough to go around. Let's be real.
I could just be one of 30 bitches. I don't care as long as I get something.
Fuck it.
I bet at this point he's got a hair.
Oh, you already know.
On an island.
You already know it.
I'll take an STD for $1 billion. I'll do it.
Hey, I'm a businessman. Fuck out of here.
I'm willing to compromise.
Basically, as I may quote Pete Davidson, I'm not gay. I'm a businessman. I'd suck a dick for $1 million. I'm a businessman.
I think most people would. I think that they
see a lot of like through his whole act, it was like, have you ever played you suck a dick for $1 million and you lied in saying that you wouldn't?
Every man on the planet's like, where's this going?
basically he said, I would suck a dick in the summer for a nice summer, in December for a good ass Christmas. Fuck out of here. Basically, I mean, he's a businessman. I do the same shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's big facts.
I'm a businessman, bro. Like, fuck out of here.
I will do the business.
Damn.
I'm willing to do the business.
I'll make sure to suck the soul out that cock. Like, I'm sorry. Like, for $1 billion, amen, brother.
Money is, dude. You know what? Bezos is so rich he could have that done 14 times a day and still profit.
I'm done, yo.
I want to see his OnlyFans subscriptions.
Yo, shut the fuck up.
The shit that guy just throws money at, like, that's what I want to see. Not like his actual business endeavors. I want to see like.
No, I agree. Especially now that he's divorced.
Fuck
like,
yeah.
I want to see those. I want to see those tip notes, bro. Like,
yeah.
With Franz, with his OnlyFans, it's the same thing with Franz. Like,
I didn't pay to see that.
I bet Bezos single-handedly.
I mean,
I was gonna say, I bet Bezos single-handedly made Bezos rich.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It's only friends, but my pay stubs.
Only friends. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to pay.
I just want to see like a bank statement from. I would love to see a bank statement from Bezos just to see what he spends his money on in a day.
Just one day. Give me like a good ass day for a pay stub. Give me a good ass day.
Where he
on
went real hard.
Day. What does this man buy on Thanksgiving Day?
Yo, cocaine hookers.
And I want to know what if he doesn't even use Amazon, right? What if he uses like third-party shipping?
Yeah.
That man just gets shit brought to his house.
Literally.
He's just like, I got everything sent to me on auto ship.
I mean, that's basically David Dobrik.
Imagine being that rich.
Bro, I wish, bro. I fucking wish.
I can only imagine. Only imagine.
Maybe you guys will become the next Joe Rogan one day.
We can't take that term though. The guy, hold up. Ryan Tucker Leary from Fit for a King, because his podcast, he's like, I'm gonna be the Joe Rogan of metalcore. And he's the man that can do it.
Best of luck to him, yeah.
I mean, whatever. Good luck.
I'm just saying, look at his numbers and then look at our numbers. Don't listen to his podcast, just listen to ours. But you know.
I'd rather you listen to ours, but whatever.
Yeah.
Fair.
Well, guys, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you again, Ethan, for taking the time to have this chat with us. We will absolutely do a follow-up interview. This was a lot of fun. But
absolutely. I was going to say, whenever we're headed out, do you want to play that little teaser I sent you?
I mean, honestly, I'd rather have you on a show. Like one of our normal episodes. I'm
always down to come on.
We'll fucking make that happen for sure.
We'll make it happen.
Every week, like for the past couple of weeks, we've been lucky enough to just been able to say, hey, do you want to come on the podcast? And then people do. So it works out. Let me pull up that fucking that clip that you sent us.
Yeah. I figured I'd tease you guys a little something. So I don't know if you've heard it yet, Kyle, but this is my band's next single. This is just the demo. This hasn't even been mixed or mastered yet.
By the way, this is Dummy. This is
what a sweet boy.
He's the sweetest of boys when he wants to be.
Yeah, that's how cats are always. I'm a cat person.
See, the problem is, like, I will admit, you can touch his paws, you can do anything to this cat, but he just destroys shit. Just for fun.
Cat dad.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That's the issue I'm having with my toddler. But you can't rub a toddler's nose in what they've done wrong and expect that to work. It doesn't work the same way.
I was gonna say you could, but then there's like an ethics conversation you have to have. Like,
yeah. There's a lot of things you could do, but then you run into that whole moral dilemma.
It's like we were talking about earlier. There's a lot of people who could do a lot of bad things. Doesn't mean they should.
Which I'm surprised that he didn't stay throughout the whole entire. He usually stays throughout the whole entire episode. He stays right on my lap.
Hell yeah.
And still, God is silent.
Yes, sir. That's the name of our EP that's dropping.
That's the name of my dick.
It's impressive.
I hear that a lot, actually. So here it is. Hold up. Dropbox, you can stop asking me to keep it safe. I wrap it before I tap it. No, I don't. Who am I kidding? Here we go.
Obviously, Pat.
Yeah.
Yo, he says shh.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I'm putting in that work, he says.
Oh, goddamn.
So let's do this thing, shall we? That's not too loud, is it?
It was pretty loud. I'm not gonna lie.
Hold up. That's still pretty fucking loud. Holy shit.
In my opinion, it wasn't. It was like
Yeah,
low
it
as
got
fuck.
really quiet for us.
Really? Hold up.
Yeah. That's fine for me.
Fuck it. I'll turn my mic
have to ask.
Mm-hmm.
That high pitched sound right about here.
Farther back, yeah.
It was a little further back. That was a vocals thing. That wasn't a guitar thing, right?
That's me, yeah.
Oh my god. I heard that and I'm like, okay, I've heard the term tea kettle highs before. What do you call that?
That's a whistle tone.
Okay.
Damn.
So what that is like you have people, you know who I'm gonna mention that like
of course.
did, like the whole tea kettle thing.
He who
or
shall
whatever.
not be named.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So there's basically an extension you can do above that where you're creating like a really tight pinhole with your throat, and I'm screaming with my normal, like a normal distortion, and then through the throat I'm creating a whistle through my throat that goes through my nose, and it can hit like the highest notes on the piano type shit. Like that note is like a C7 or something.
I couldn't even fathom the level of high that scream was. That's why I was like, when I first heard it, I was like, I'm not even going to ask him right now. I'm going to wait to ask that question on the podcast, because it was almost like getting a first time listen again since the last time I heard it.
Yeah, no, that was a vocal. That's kind of my like.
That was wild.
That's like my secret little thing that I can do that not a lot of people can do.
I mean, I respect it. I respect it.
I mean, I think it's cool. My main issue with it, like, is like I think it's really cool that I can do it, but my main thing is I don't want to fall into the same trap that other people who do similar things have done and just overuse the shit out of it.
I was actually gonna say, like, well, obviously this kind of goes hand in hand with overusing it, but like being able to replicate that sound live, because sometimes there are things that you can do on record perfectly every time, but sometimes in a live setting things happen and you can't always perform those types of like tricks, I guess.
Yeah, so like I can do that very, very consistently only because I practiced it a lot, but not a lot of people realize that vocal is more relaxed than almost any other vocal that most people do.
Because it does not sound it.
Huh?
It doesn't sound it.
Is it open throat, like almost false?
Yeah, so like basically all I'm doing is I have the same distortion up here, right? Because it's a polyphonic. There's two tones going on. So if you've ever heard of polyphonic singing is a good example, where you can sing a pitch and you can create a whistle through your nasal tone or through your nasal cavity. It's a play on that. So all I'm doing is I'm doing a fry vocal up here, but my throat is flexing. It's not like constricting. My muscles are just flexing and creating like a really tiny pinhole that the air is moving really, really quickly through, and then it creates the whistle by itself.
Word.
Okay, that's interesting.
Well, I gotta say, this was a really interesting way to end this interview, not like anything we have done up until now. So thank you for that. I love firsts here on the show. But yeah, thanks again for coming on the show, man. Is there anybody you want to thank, shout out,
We're
or
definitely
going to
have you. This won't be the last time.
I'm more than the last time you're on here.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. It's been a lot of fun. It's been like I love talking to people who you can just bullshit with, and it doesn't always have to be this like straight clear cut, like whatever the fuck. Like if you're funny,
it's not
like,
a lot better. Yeah, or like a hassle or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As far as like some of the other bands I've mentioned, check out Nigh on Godly. Check out The Merciless Concept if you haven't heard them. Buddy Kev is a good band. Of course, check out Infinite Annihilator.
Who hasn't checked out Infinite Annihilator? Come on, bro.
If you're here, you probably have.
Yeah, I mean, if you like Dickie and you like Infinite Annihilator, check out my band, Sawdemise SAWDEMISE. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Our song Retractu with Dickie Allen has been out for a few months now. The song we just leaked, we're supposed to have mixed and ready to be put out, hopefully with the music video in the next couple months. And I think that's it. I really appreciate you guys having me on.
Awesome, man. Thanks again for being here. And what do we always say right at the end of these things? If you made it this far, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe. And Kyle, what are they supposed to do to that bell button?
Crowd kill the fuck out of that bell button. That's what you do.
Hit that motherfucking bell button.
No, you crowd kill it over here. You crowd kill the shit out of it.
Like it's a teenage girl with her arms crossed in the back.
Yeah, dude, we haven't been to shows in so long. Just start swinging on it.
Yeah.
Literally punch your monitor if you're watching this on YouTube at the bell button. Literally do that.
Put a hole in your
goddamn
screen.
We'll share that shit.
Yeah, that would be.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know, bro. We'll do it.
But you know what it is, what it do, what it be, what other
follow the Instagram, do all that solid shit.
Facebook group, Twitter now, because I'm going a little bit harder on Twitter now. But yeah, if you like the daily memes, I got you there. I got a really cheap joke or a cheap laugh for you almost every day. So yeah, there's that. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Baby. Oh God, who teased him like that? He did not like that. He jumped right out of he's looking at me right now like, you motherfucker.
Are we just doing vocals on the way out? Is that meme?
I mean, you can do it. Do one. Fuck it.
You gotta sound like a dying bird.
Why, listener, if you're still here, why are you even entertaining this? Get to the next episode of our
podcast is already over. Just fucking leave.
Podcast is over.
Just go.
What are you doing?
Follow. Share it on iTunes. What? I don't fucking know. Whatever. Do the thing. Bye.
On iTunes.
I don't know, man.
The fuck uses iTunes?
Oh.
It's 2020.
5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Please?
Yeah, you guys should read ratings when you get them in on the podcast.
We don't get any.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when you do,
we have 5-star ratings on Apple Podcasts, but they don't write anything.
So
that's why we do voicemails on the regular podcast.
And we still don't get those.
And if you're still listening, which I don't know why the fuck you're still listening, 518-360-1134 for your chance to be on the show. That's how we should end the podcast. Send us out, Kyle.